welcome back to a new episode of Road Tripping with Rachel. I'm Rachel, so you should join me on a road trip. So today, I'm currently on a bit of a road trip myself. You'll probably have already seen the video where I head into Sedalia before this one, but I wanted to go ahead and talk about a topic that there's a couple topics that I've been thinking about and whether or not I wanted to put my 2 cents in on some of them, and I haven't yet because of just getting like my channel and my blog up off the ground. But I think at this point, like, it's okay now for me to go on ahead. Like, I'm not like a huge YouTuber by any means. I don't even really refer to myself as a YouTuber. I'm just someone who likes to have fun and like post videos about their life, their road trips, and like about what they're studying in scripture. But there are a few things that I think are important to occasionally like chime in on, even if a lot of people don't follow me or like consider like this like a legitimate platform. There are a few things that I think are important to talk about, and one of the things that I think is important is like body image, weight loss, and like how you see yourself. I think this is an important topic, in part because like I work with college students, and so even though like I'm involved on the part of them like helping them decide where they want to go for college, I do still interact with them while they're figuring some of these questions out. You know, college is a time where like you're figuring out who you are apart from your parents, and during that time, that is also where a lot of students, they figure out like how they see themselves, because the groups of friends that you have in high school change, and you start to see yourself as less part of a group and more like individually. And some of that also comes into, okay, like what is my style? What is, how do I see myself? And I think that is something that starts in your late teens and really carries you through the rest of your life, like how you see yourself. First and foremost, though, you need to be able to see yourself as made in the image of God. We are created by God, which means that there is no such thing as an ugly body. Now, you can be an ugly person because that's your personality and that is the way that you treat other people. You can most definitely be an ugly person, but there is no such thing as like a truly ugly body. Now, there are bodies that are less than perfect, and that is because we are all sinful, and whenever Adam and Eve fell to sin, that meant that the human body also fell to sin, and that means that yes, sometimes there are going to be people who are born with disabilities, people who lose limbs, people who are suffering from terrible diseases, people who have issues mentally and emotionally and behaviorally, and these are all the result of sin and the fall and the fact that it's a constant part of our lives. But that doesn't always mean that we need to be looking at ourselves that way. And I think there's a lot that's tied up with how we see ourselves. So we are made in the image of God, and that means that we do need to take care of the bodies that we have. We're not getting new ones. And that really, I think, ties into how you view like body positivity and weight loss and body image. Like it all, I don't think you can separate them. They're all kind of in there. So, you know, you can be body positive no matter what size or what weight you're at. You can have a positive or a negative body image no matter what size or where your health is at or what you look like. And weight loss, I think, plays in here because it is a part of becoming healthier and taking care of the body that God has given you. So this is where I want to kind of, it's more chit chat for me at this point, and kind of to share kind of where my thoughts are currently at on some of these topics. The big one is that it's going to begin to kind of show up in some of my videos, that I have lost some weight. It's not like, this is not a weight loss channel at all. It's me showing my life, and it's going to start to become a little bit more noticeable on camera. I actually told my sister, who I don't think you guys have ever actually seen in a video, but she has been there. You might have seen like her back or like her feet or something like that, or you've heard her voice. But I told my sister here about a week or so ago that for one of my thumbnails I had taken a photo of myself, and that was my thumbnail. And I said I was surprised when I saw it, because I had not really taken like an up close photo of my face to see like how my body has been changing. And I saw like where I have a much more defined jawline in the photo. Now part of it was also because of the shadow and the time and all that kind of stuff, but I was able to see like, hey, you could actually like see my jawline in the shadow, and like you could see the tendons in my neck. Like even right now, like I can see the tendons in my neck. And I'm starting to notice it like in my face and in some of my clothing. I wore a skirt I hadn't worn in a very long time here recently, a couple weeks ago to work, which I work in an office, so like I wear skirts and dresses and slacks and all that kind of stuff. I haven't had to actively like change up my wardrobe like size wise in several years. So no matter how much weight I've lost, or well, not really lost, but no matter how much weight I've gained, really, my clothing size has not changed since high school. I wear the same size clothing now that I wore when I was 18. Now, you're like, how does that happen? Because I am most definitely not in my high school weight. Most definitely not in my high school weight. However, with that, where I gain weight is what has allowed me to maintain like my regular sizes. So I tend to be a little bit more top heavy, so I am heavily chested, and then I have long legs, and I am 5'9", so my torso is proportionate, but I am fairly tall, and the way I carry my weight is just like it tends to distribute pretty evenly. So even though my weight has gone up, the way my clothes have sat hasn't really changed. So I also like it's just my sizes haven't changed. It's just the way my body in particular works. And I have now been very intentionally like attempting to lose weight, because I have been diagnosed with anxiety. I also have high blood pressure, neither of which are surprising that I would end up with, in part because I am my mother has high blood pressure. I had both of my grandfathers have had high blood pressure. My dad has high blood pressure, and there are people on my father's side of the family that have anxiety. So it is not a surprise that I would come out with having any of those issues. My weight does not help those issues though. So a year ago, last summer, I was in for a regular checkup with my doctor, and I said, I need help losing weight. Like, I need someone who's going to be able to hold me accountable, someone who's going to be able just to help me. And so I got a recommendation to go to a weight loss clinic in the town that I live in. And through that, I had to fill out this huge questionnaire, which A weight loss clinic is not going to work for everyone, but it has been very helpful for me to identify like where are the things that I have problems with. And through having to go through the questionnaire and sitting through and talking with someone about it, I was able to learn that like I struggle with portion control, in part because just in general the American diet, like we don't serve a portion to anyone. Like nobody gets a portion. Learning like what a portion is and figuring out like what does my body really need on a daily basis. So for me, just as an example, one of the things my doctor and I talked about is I really need to make sure that I have a lot of protein. I had been moving in the direction of becoming more and more plant-based. So I have no intention of becoming a vegetarian or a vegan. So that's not where this is going. But I do like cooking with a more plant-based diet, in part because like I'm single, I live by myself, and when you eat more plant-based, it is cheaper because I don't know if you've gone to the grocery store lately, but things like even chicken, beef, pork, like it all has been steadily rising cost-wise. And one of the things that I talked about with my doctor was that I needed to move back towards eating more animal meat and less just getting my protein and things from a plant-based source. I still do occasionally eat things that are very plant-based. So I'll still do occasionally, like I'll do like a meatless Monday and things like that. I still do that, and I do enjoy it. I like how I feel afterwards. But one of the things that we determined was like I really need a solid source of protein in the morning, and I need to make sure that I am getting protein like later on in the day. So for the last 14 months or so, like I eat eggs almost every morning for breakfast. That was the thing that they said that like would probably benefit me the most. So like I eat eggs, and I like eggs, and I eat a lot of scrambled eggs and a lot of like egg bites. I've made a lot of this stuff like on this channel at this point, so it shouldn't be surprising to anybody to hear me say like I like eggs. And then I also like eat yogurt and bacon and sausage, and so it's like yes, those things also are high in fat, but also like I'm balancing out my calories, which some people like they absolutely cannot count calories. Totally fine. Like that's a 100% a discussion you have to have with your doctor. This is the discussion I've had with my doctor, and my doctor and I decided like it would be helpful for me to count calories, and so that is what I do. Now I have some friends who have also been on a weight loss journey, mission, road trip, whatever I guess we can call it, my road trip, my weight loss road trip. That's on brand for me, but for me, like having the accountability of the calorie counting has been super helpful. Now, I'm not always 100% on it, in part because I've had to learn how to control like my portion sizes. I said that earlier. So learning like this is a portion. Like I don't think any of us ever think about the fact that like one egg is considered that is a portion, is a single egg. I don't know very many people who are like, oh yeah, I scrambled an egg. For me, like I scrambled 2 eggs. Like that is what I need to feel like I have been satiated. I have done like 3 eggs before, and I'm like, I don't feel good after that. I feel like I've eaten too much like eggs, because I need to balance it out. So normally I will have like in the morning specifically, my breakfast is probably where I exert the most control and consistency in like what I eat. I do like to change up my meals. I like to meal prep. I like to have a lot of stuff ready to go. It's just easier for me and my lifestyle. But being able to have like egg bites occasionally, especially if I know I'm coming and going a whole lot that week, that's really helpful for me to have in the morning, like for breakfast and things like that. But like 2 eggs, 2 pieces of bacon, and then some kind of grain or other slow releasing like item that's normally going to be like some kind of carb. So like probably one of my favorite breakfasts is I'll have 2 scrambled eggs, 2 slices of bacon, and then I will have a parfait. Like I'll have Greek yogurt with some homemade granola on it, and like that, actually like eating that with and then having my cup of my morning coffee with a little bit of creamer in it and some sugar, because that is how I roll. That puts me, like, I'm under the 500 calorie mark, and I know I will consistently be under the 500 calorie mark, and that if I eat that, I will not be actually like hungry until like pushing 12:30, 1 o'clock, about the time I would normally go to lunch from work. So I'm pretty consistent about that. Now, sometimes do I like to switch it up? Yes. Like I will occasionally do like the egg bites. Sometimes I will do like poached eggs with toast. I'll do like some other things, but I don't vary too much. And then like I'll do like where I had like my students over for brunch that work in my office. Like obviously like I did not eat like my eggs that day. Like I made the cinnamon rolls and I ate with the students. But that has been extremely helpful and healthy for me. Knowing exactly like what's going in and seeing like the number of calories and like how much I'm eating has been extremely helpful. And that had resulted in about a 20-pound weight loss. And then I went through a period where like I started incorporating like exercising into it. Now, I've always been like fairly active, and by fairly active, it's not like I'm into sports. I'm not, but I like was making myself get out, go walking, go and do things that didn't involve food. You know, like trying to like doing kind of like what I'm doing now. Like I am on the road. I got out of my apartment. I've been getting sunshine. I've been out moving and walking and looking at things. Where have I eaten today? Yes, of course. Did I run through a local coffee shop before I actually got on the road and got myself a breakfast sandwich? Yes. I've calculated the calories. I know how many calories like I just ingested. It has the equivalent of 2 eggs in it. It's got the equivalent of like I think like 3 slices of bacon in it, and it has some cheese on it. So I know that, and it was on a ciabatta bun. So I know that my calorie intake with that sandwich, I think, was right around like 625, I think is what I figured it out. I get the same one all the time, so it's not like it varies. So I knew that one was going to be higher. I did not have coffee this morning, and I brought a like low calorie prebiotic soda with me that I had because I ate at like 10 o'clock this morning, was when I actually set out on the road. And then later on, I went and I drove through a chain coffee shop. I got myself a pumpkin spice latte, which was delicious. It was iced. I was happy with it. And did I go on ahead and get myself a cookie to munch on, like while I'm on this 2.5-hour drive heading back to my apartment? Yes, I did. Have I eaten that whole cookie? No, actually, I've eaten about a third of it at this point. And I've still got like a good like 2 hours to go. So, am I going to have it done? Probably. Am I going to feel guilty about it? No, I'm not. Because I know, like, my calories are going to be, like, vastly under, like, what my allowed intake is. And even if I go over that calorie intake, it just means, like, I cut back somewhere else, like, tomorrow or later on to help me maintain. Now, with my weight loss and incorporating in like exercise, I started really getting out and walking. I do enjoy doing yoga in the morning. So if you've been watching my videos, which I suggest you do, I do some Bible studies on here from time to time. They're mainly going to be geared more towards like suggestions or some content that is for like small group or Sunday school leaders, with the idea that they'll be able to oh, that's my mommy. With the idea that it's to give you some discussion questions if you're working your way through the same book of the Bible that I am. I've been in Genesis this entire year. I'm pretty close to having it finished up. I also changed churches this year, and it's funny because I had already pre-planned like this is the book that I'm going to start with, and then I'm going to head into Exodus. Like I have a plan for the Bible study and the content that I was wanting to do, and it's actually following like what my church is doing. Although I'm not doing like everything that the church is doing, I'm staying pretty much on course, which is kind of funny. But that's a good place if you just want to catch up on some other things. But with that, like you're gonna find within Christian circles, oh, you shouldn't do yoga, you shouldn't do that. Like, this is kind of a little bit of a tangent at this point, but yes, I do choose to do yoga. Yes, I went to seminary. Yes, I have a master's of divinity in Christian education. Do I think yoga has its roots in Hinduism? Yes. Yes, it does. I know that. I understand that. However, I am 100% doing it for the stretching. For a overweight, very curvy person, I am actually quite flexible. And I want to be able to maintain that flexibility. And yoga allows me to do that. It also forces me to be very conscious of my body while I am in different poses and different positions. So that way I am aware, like, if I'm doing something that is actually causing me pain, or if I'm doing something that feels good because it's being stretched. It also helps me to maintain my flexibility. And I'm sorry, I am not paying enough attention while I am following a yoga video on YouTube to want to be rooted. I'm not sending my energy into the ground. I'm not sending my energy out into the world. I am literally just trying to make sure my back is straight and that I am contracting the proper muscles. So, that's my little tangent on this. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. I think it's going to come down to a personal conviction on this, and we're going to move on. So, I do like to do this. I do like to do yoga in the mornings. I was incorporating really getting out and walking. I really enjoy getting out and going for a good walk. I put my headphones on. I listen to a podcast. I'll listen to audiobooks. And it was really helping me. I just felt good. It helps me deal with stress. And it was a good balance with the other medication that I'm on, and helping me be happy, Rachel. Be happy, Rachel. There was some stuff that ended up happening over the summer, late spring, and then through the summer with work, that greatly increased my stress level, and as a result, that threw some of my hormones out of whack. And there were some other things that were going on that the internet just doesn't need to know about, and I started gaining weight. Some of the weight I had lost back, and so I gained about 10 pounds back, making my total weight loss about 10 pounds. So then when I went back to the weight loss clinic, I was like, I don't know what the next step needs to be, because I'm counting my calories, I'm getting out and I'm exercising. I had gone and gotten some tests done to see if there was a problem somewhere else, and with my body, that there was something else that might have been out of whack that was causing this. The good news is that there wasn't. The bad news is that there wasn't. So something that could have potentially been the cause of something else wasn't, and I'm healthy where that's concerned. But I had a discussion with my doctor about okay, so what's the next step for me to get the proper help that I need to keep moving forward? And so not every person is going to agree with this decision. Not every person is going to think it was the best choice for me. However, it's my body, okay? I made this choice with the consultation of a doctor, and it wasn't an immediate decision. We had this discussion at the very beginning of me starting this process, and at that time I said I don't want to move in the direction of medication right now. I wanted to be able to correct some of the bad habits that I knew I had, and be able to learn when to recognize that I am hungry versus eating just because I'm bored, or not recognizing when I'm full. So I have corrected a lot of those habits. Do I still struggle with them? Of course I do. Of course I do. These are lifelong habits that I've had to learn. or I guess I should say like unlearn. I've had to unlearn some very unhealthy habits. And it also makes, like, when you come, like, my mother's family is like we're a big German family. My dad's family's Swedish, but like my mother's family shows like love and care like with food. So I knew that like going through this process was going to mean that like I would have to stay, like I can't have that, not because I don't want it, but because like I have to make a decision that's good for me. And I also love to cook and bake, so like I've been learning like healthier recipes, and like being pretty strict on like what I make, and then like making sure like I eat that, so that way I'm not wasting money. And this then takes me into the decision that like I decided to go on medication. So there are a few different medications that are out there. You need to just talk to your doctor about it, but like I chose one that at the time I thought was going to be the best for me, and it has been helping, and I feel better because I have been losing weight. It has really jump-started it, or I shouldn't say, it's not that it's jump-started it, it's just been helpful of being able to like be on track and like help offset the like hormone imbalance, and that's like involved with it, which I've never been really a stress eater. Like that's like it has to be really bad for me to be like, I just want ice cream. like I love ice cream, but I don't keep it in my apartment. And I really like I don't when I'm stressed, I don't hit up like the cookies or the cakes or the things like that. I normally will have something like in my apartment for whenever people come over, and I'll eat on it, but I will eat like, here is my serving of cake, or here is my slice of cheesecake. I literally like I made a pizza. I was so proud of it. It looked gorgeous. I'm just telling you. Sourdough crust with pesto and ricotta and prosciutto, and then a red onion on it, and then sprinkled with Parmesan. Like, it's a beautiful pizza. I literally ate like a corner. So it is not like I'm not one of those people who's going to be like, hey, like I'm just like absolutely gorging myself. Like I've really worked hard to get over that. And but the medication has been helping, and as a result I'm now down 30 pounds. So I am in my college weight at this point. Little flexibility in there to like 1 to 2 pounds, but I have gotten down, I've turned the clock back now like 10 years as far as like the weight that is being placed on my heart and on my body that I'm having to move. It has been a very interesting road trip right now, because like I said previously, like I haven't taken a bunch of photos that allowed let's pause that for just a second. Sorry, my mommy called. So with the weight loss now, I've just begun to really see like my body changing, and as a part of that, like because I'm becoming more conscious of it, that means it's going to start to show to other people. I read once that if you lose 10 pounds, that's when you'll start to notice when you lose 10 pounds. You'll start to see your clothes fit differently at 20, and then it will start to become obvious at 30. And so now that I'm in that area, I know that like it's going to start to become more obvious. And while I was out shopping today, I call it shopping, but it's more like me just getting out and going. I just walked into a store and was like, I'm just gonna look around, and I ended up finding like a sweater that was a size smaller than what I would normally wear, and tried it on. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this fits. And it's exciting to be able to start seeing the results of hard work. of like learning new habits, of being able to see how things that I've been doing and implementing and like having those like tough talks with myself are starting to pay off. And it's amazing just how much better I feel, and feeling as though like, okay, like I feel healthier. And I don't know if anyone else is like this, but like when I feel healthier, I feel more attractive. And it's not that I think I'm an ugly person at all. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know myself better than anybody else probably knows me. I am most definitely not always the sweetest individual at all. But, and I tell people, I'm like, I would never categorize myself as being nice. Like, I am not that person. I'm very straightforward, very like, you don't want to do that. Like, that's a bad idea. I'm very much one of those people. But, I'm very, very upfront with that. But I just feel more attractive. Like, I just feel as though like it's, you have those, and I don't know if guys feel like this ever, and I don't know if anyone else ever feels this way, but sometimes it's not that I'm thinking like, oh, I'm ugly. It's just, sometimes you look in the mirror, like, and when you're feeling good and you're just like, I feel pretty. There's a whole movie about it. I feel pretty. Like, and that has been where, like, I've been, for the last, 2 weeks, has been, like, I feel pretty. Like, it's like, I'm in my 30s. I'm about to turn 33 at the end of October, and it's like, I feel pretty. And that is where I'm currently at with weight loss. So I'm saying that because, like, it's going to begin to show more, like on camera. And I just figured I might as well go on ahead and get ahead of the comments that might be made eventually. And I don't really want this to be a weight loss channel, but part of what I want to do with this channel, though, is be an encouragement for, like, small group leaders, and to show, like, if someone finds this, that, like, it's okay to talk about, like, normal things, and you can be a Christian and talk about things that aren't always, like, straight out of scripture. Like, because we live in the real world, we have to confront our own issues that we have because of us being fallen and being sinful, and that is life. And this is something that I struggle with, and that does take a toll on me mentally and emotionally, and it's something that I live with. And if sharing some of, like, how I process things can be helpful for someone else, I want to be able to do that. I told my sister here a while back ago and my best friend, that I have this felt need to be helpful. Like, you have your real needs, like food, water, shelter. You have those things, but you also will have, like, felt needs. And a felt need that I have is I want to be helpful and feel as though, like, I'm making a difference in someone's life. And for me, being able to share, like, here's something, like, I've struggled with, and this is where I'm at now, and how I feel encouraged, and how I feel like I'm being blessed by this. If that can help someone, like, I want it to. And on some level, it's kind of selfish, but on another level, it's, like, something I genuinely want to be able to do for other people. And talking about the weight loss side of things also leads then to kind of the discussion. Well, no, it's not a kind of, it does lead into the discussion about, like, body positivity, because if you have been really paying attention to a lot of the stuff that is on YouTube or that's on social media, like, there's a lot of chatter about, like, body positivity. Anybody is a beach body, or anybody is a bikini body. And yes, I do agree. Not everybody is healthy, and you can be healthy at a larger size the same way you can be healthy at a smaller size. You can be unhealthy at a larger size and be unhealthy at a smaller size. Both are true. And I don't want to be a weight loss channel, but I do think it's important to chime in on this, that it's important that you take care of your body. If eating healthy and occasionally having, like the sweets, the treats, like I said, I got a cookie here. If having those things helps you maintain a healthy lifestyle, then, kudos. If you feel good about yourself after eating a cookie, kudos to you. No judgment, no shame, absolutely none. But if you are doing that same thing and you don't feel good about yourself afterwards, or you have self-loathing, then that's not being body positive. That's having a very unhealthy relationship with both yourself and with food. So I think it's important that we come to that particular conversation knowing that everybody is in a different place there, and that it is your body that you are living with, and you have to face the consequences. And this would be for any situation involving, when you're making decisions about your body, that you have to be willing to face the consequences that come with the decisions and the choices you make. So if you are, I'll just throw a few things out there. I'm not sharing my opinion on this, just here's a few things out there. If you choose to not eat fruits and vegetables, then you're going to face the consequences of not eating fruits and vegetables. If you choose to eat a plant-based diet, then you're going to face those consequences. We tend to think of consequences as being negative, but consequences can also be positive. So if there are people who are vegetarians and who are vegans, and they are some of the most healthy people I've ever met. I've also met a couple of them where I'm like, you look very sick. So you have to make the decisions of what is going to be the best for your body, and not just make your decisions because of YouTube or social media or anything like that. You need to make those decisions because you've talked to your doctor. And that you have gotten, in some cases, that you've gotten second or even third opinions. But you need to be able to feel good in your skin, and you need to also be able to always remember that we're made in the image of God, and that He has given us our body, and that we need to be taking care of it. We don't want to be abusing our bodies because we only get the one. And we want to be able to be healthy enough to do the things that we're called to do, that God has called us to do. And we want to be able to all serve in our local churches, and be able to serve in our communities, and be able to do our jobs and be able to do them well without our bodies being the thing that holds us back because of our choices. Now, are there going to be things that happen? Yes. But when it comes down to this was your choice, you have to be willing to live with those consequences. So those are just some of my thoughts right now on things like body image and weight loss and body positivity. As a reminder, I am not a weight loss channel. This is not going to be a regular topic that's going to be covered on this channel. But occasionally, I will chime in with where I'm at on certain things, or on kind of what I would consider to be hot topics on different things that are happening. Because I think it's important that we do address them, and that we don't hide from the hard topics. So, my thoughts, I'm going to end the video here. If you found this video helpful, or at least it gave you food for thought, please go on ahead and like and subscribe. That really helps out my channel. It helps get more views out there. It also lets me know the types of content that people are actually wanting to see. And I hope to see you the next time on my road trip as I work my way through the Bible life and some time out on the road. Bye.